Back here, first things first, we're going viral. If you follow Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald on the gram, you will be impressed every day. If you don't, then just be impressed today. He is 280 pounds. His footwork is that of someone far less than 280 pounds. It is so impressive. See, what do you think?
Oh, man, he's amazing. His workouts are phenomenal.
Epic.
It's nice when you get the work ethic with the most talented. That's how you get greatness, and that's what he is, man. One of the best that's ever done. It's great to see.
You stole the words right out of my head, see. This is the combination of natural gifts.
Ben Simmons, this dude right here, a lot of potential. But he sent us video. He's working on this stuff. Remember last year with the knives and everything?
That's annoying.
That's how you become one of the greatest in the history of the world at what you do.
The Kardashians, oh, they left him in the dust.
Oh, man.
Stories to start your morning. The soon-to-be 42-year-old.
She broke up with him, man. He didn't have a jump shot.
Tom Brady
You got to have a jumper to fool with.
Is gearing up for his 20th season in the NFL. And while most would dread the wear and tear of another grueling season, Tom Brady's reportedly excited as ever entering this year. CC, what can we expect from Brady and the Patriots?
Man, this is what the Patriots are going to look like. Ground and pound. You're going to think that Bill Belichick, his mentor Bill Parcells, they came together and came up with a game plan from 1980s, 1990s. They're going to slow the pace down. Sony Michel, they're going to throw the ball short out of the backfield. Don't have a lot of threats on the outside, so they're going to play great defense. Their secondary is the best in pro football, so they're going to play to that. Michael Bennett on the defensive side over there to be able to help out their rush, get after the passer. That's the way New England, that's the way they played the last 2 months of the season. That's the way they'll play in 2019, Nick.
There's only one absolute certainty going into this season across the entire league, and that's the Pats are going to win the AFC East. Who's going to take it from them? Josh Allen and the Bills? Sam Darnold and the Jets? Is Josh Rosen, is my guy the quarterback down in Miami now? He's their quarterback now, right?
Don't talk too loud about him.
I talk good about him. I like Josh Rosen. He's going to be the next great quarterback in that division, but not yet. No, the Pats will, the minimum, win the AFC East again.
The former Finals MVP Andre Iguodala could soon be traded from the Grizzlies, with reports that the Lakers, Rockets, and Clippers are leading the charge. Nick, where does Iggy best fit?
He almost signed with the Rockets a few years ago. Obviously, veterans love going to contending teams, and it's a bonus if they're in LA. So if he's bought out, I would imagine any of those three teams would be great fits. I can't see any of those three teams trading for him. The only contender I could see trading for him is the Nuggets. They have the pieces to make it work. He played there before. He played well for them. They could use someone on that team with some championship experience. A lot of young up-and-coming players. So if he's traded, I would say Denver. If not, look out for one of those LA teams.
He's such a good glue guy. He's still a good defender. He can take 20, 25 minutes in critical situations. You know, the moments aren't going to be too big. He's been great in the locker room as far as being able to resolve some issues behind the scenes. Man, Kevin Durant blows out his Achilles. He walks with him to the locker room in a championship game. So he fits in because of his personality. He fits in because he will accept a role, and typically it's not the most glamorous role on these teams.
All right, let's end with the Warriors. Their trade for D'Angelo Russell was a bit of a head-scratcher. They already have arguably the best backcourt in the game, and Steph and Clay, leaving many to wonder how long D'Angelo would be there. But general manager Bob Myers made it crystal clear, saying, we didn't sign him with the intention of just trading him. Let's see how this fits. Nick, how does he fit in Golden State?
He fits in this regard. If they didn't have him, they would be starting a replacement-level shooting guard this year. If they didn't have him, their depth there is non-existent. When you have as many great players as the Warriors have had, and you've been as successful as the Warriors have been, your young players, you're not drafted in the lottery. You don't have money to spend on mid-level free agents. So they are more talented with him than without him. And they will be able to tread water, in fact, probably do a little better than tread water until Klay Thompson gets there, thanks to he and Steph giving you a legitimate scoring punch in the backcourt. Between the two of them, you'll get 50 points a game from your point guard and your shooting guard. But defensively, they will be limited. When Klay comes back, there is not an obvious fit for the three of them. And D'Angelo knows he is there temporarily. D'Angelo knows there is no universe that exists where any team in basketball is going to be paying Steph Curry $40 million, Klay Thompson's on a new deal at $30 million or 35, and D'Angelo Russell $30 million for each of the next 4 years. So he knows he's there either for half a season or one season, and I have real concern about his style, pick and roll centric, how it fits with the Warriors, who like the motion spread offense. That is not what he thrived in.
I think he can learn that. They played a little bit of that in Brooklyn, but where he thrived was in the pick and roll. You could see his skill level, his ability to be able to shoot odd angles, shoot off balance. His mid-range is very impressive. He's not as athletic, even though he's 6'5", so finishing at the rim. But this was about a couple things. Kevin Durant's getting ready to leave. What can we do given our limited financial capabilities? So they could get a sign and trade. Where Kevin Durant was going, Brooklyn, trade for him. D'Angelo Russell potentially was going to sign with Minnesota. So it was one of the only moves that they could do to get an asset that eventually could either fit in or move them. The number two thing they did was protect the number one asset they have. And if you don't think Steph Curry's the number one asset, then you think that new building they're going is the number one asset.
Sure.
And it's protect both of them.
Right.
So how can we play an exciting brand of basketball to a guy that's going to be able to help out our number one asset in Steph Curry? So now Steph can play either on the ball, he can play off the ball, because Bob Myers saw last year's playoffs. He saw when Kevin Durant was out of the lineup. He saw people clamp down. He saw people dusting off the old, well, let's go back to high school.
Right.
Let's play a boxing one. And he knew that he couldn't do that to Steph Curry or to that fan base that for the last 5 years has supported this Warriors team.
Wouldn't it behoove the Warriors to just maybe have multiple offenses, to not just focus on the motion passing offense, to maybe to bring a guy who is so good at pick and rolls and to just mix it up a little bit because of what happened last year when you really just had one offense and everyone was able to...
Well, the reason they were able to clamp down on it is because Durant and Clay were out. I mean, the Warriors, since they've gone to the system, have the number one offense in NBA history.
Yeah, and it's not as if
neither of those guys are going to be there to start the season.
Correct. No, go ahead.
Yeah, most teams, even though their foundation might be one system, they do have the flexibility to do other things. So do the Warriors do some pick and roll? Yes. But if they had players that they felt were better in the pick and roll, they would do that. Did they do isolation? Not before Kevin Durant got there. You know when Kevin Durant got there, you know what they end up doing? Let's do some isolation because Kevin Durant. So I think that Steve Kerr, he's smart enough and flexible enough to what type of talent do I have? But the system they created, that motion system, which is a combination of what they did in San Antonio, that Steve Kerr, it's one of the best offenses to be able to run, and given the skill set of Clay being a stationary shooter, Steph, how he can dribble and come off the picks, and Draymond, how he's a great passer. So not only do they have a good system, but the players fit in that system well.
Right, but now that you have D'Angelo, who is a good pick and roll guy, they'll
do more of it, I'm sure, but I think that then there's an opportunity cost to everything, and you do more of that, that means less of what Steph is great at, and Steph is your only MVP candidate. Steph is the only guy on your team until Clay comes back that's even a top 20 player in the league, and Steph's probably a top 5 guy. But I just want the audience to understand this. This was not the Warriors' plan, and any talk from Bob Myers or Joe Lacob acting like it was is revisionist history. Everything changed when Clay came down bad on that fast break dunk. If Clay does not blow out his ACL, they planned on KD leaving. They would have brought back Iggy. They would have brought back Clay. They would have maxed Clay the way they did. They might have kept Livingston, probably not, but they might have. And they would have said, let's see what the original Warriors group can do.
Right.
Once KD left, and you're not going to have Clay, and you're moving into that building, that's when fortunately for them, KD picked the Nets, a team that had a guy they could sign and trade.